Our council tax is rising this year, and some of us will experience an insane increase of 10%. All of us, understandably, are fuming at this. However, do you want to know the real reason why we are being asked to pay more? This is going to shock you to your core. Hey up everyone and welcome to Political Nerds. I'm Steph the Alter Nerd, your nerdy political guide from Washington DC to Westminster and beyond. In today's video, I'm going to discuss the real reason why your council tax is rising, in some cases by a whopping 10%, and it's all to do with Rachel from Accounts, otherwise known as Rachel Reeves, our Chancellor. For the time being, I think. Now, do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and as a disclaimer, I am not inciting hatred to anyone or a particular group, religion, etc. So, let's jump into it first and foremost with this article from The Telegraph. And the council tax rises are actually being blamed on Rachel from Accounts' disastrous £40 billion raid. And so local authorities, local councils are saying that increases to the council tax this year were necessary due to a shortfall brought on by Rachel Reeves rising the employer's national insurance contributions, increasing that. And so the County Councils Network, otherwise known as the CCN, which represents 37 county councils and unitary authorities, warned the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, that putting up taxes on employers had saddled its town halls with £278 million in additional costs that would increase council tax bills for millions of people. The City of Edinburgh Council has separately been handed a bill of more than £9 million as a result of the government's tax rises, with residents facing an 8% increase to council tax bills this year, partly as a result. And more than 4 million people living in 8 bankrupt local authorities face larger council tax bills than the law normally permits. And so this comes after Rachel from Accounts announced £40 billion worth of tax rises on businesses in October in efforts to try and reverse more than a decade of decline in Britain's public services. But this is all backfiring in an epic and disastrous way. And so you've got the Shadow Chancellor here, Mel Stride, saying, quote, "This is yet another example of how ill thought through Labour's jobs tax really is. Keir Starmer said he would freeze council tax, but now people will end up paying more thanks to Labour's disastrous budget." Now, as far as I'm concerned, the Shadow Chancellor and the Conservatives can take a step out from this one, right? They can walk away from this one. They're not in the arena. They have no leg to stand on whatsoever. Absolute idiots. Because this whole situation they've caused as well. The Conservatives were in power for over a decade. And now they want to start complaining and being like, oh, well, you're doing it wrong, this, that, and the other. They've been doing it wrong for over a decade with declining services with our councils. So they don't have a leg to stand on to really criticise any of this whatsoever. They are equally to blame, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. The only way forward is Reform UK. If there was a general election tomorrow, I would not hesitate. I would vote Reform UK, hands down, 1,000,000 times over. And so an estimate by the CCN shows that the total cost to its councils of the increase in employers' national insurance contributions, thanks to Rachel from Accounts, would be £454 million between 2025 and 2026. Now, the government said they'd only have to pay £176 million. Well, that's not the case. That figure's far greater than that. The network said almost all of its councils plan to raise taxes by the minimum of 5% as a result. Barry Lewis of the CCN said, whilst the government announced compensation for councils for its autumn budget decision to increase employers' national insurance contributions, this falls well short of the cost of this policy. Compounding this shortfall is the government's decision in the local government finance settlement to target funding towards the major cities and towns at the expense of county and rural areas. As a consequence of these government decisions, a recent survey found that 9 in 10 county and unitary councils will have to raise council council tax by the maximum permitted. The CCN represents approximately 26 million people living in dozens of rural county councils and unitary authorities spread across England. And local authorities, so local councils, must pay national insurance contributions for all staff they employ, including in critical sectors such as adult social care. So in a nutshell, out of all of that, the real reason our council tax is rising, our council tax is increasing because essentially it's a subsidy for what employees, including the councils, need to pay, namely the rise in what they have to contribute to the national insurance, a rise that Rachel from accounts initiated in the first place. So these cheeky buggers are passing this rise on to us through increasing our council tax, when they're the ones that should be paying it anyway, not us. What the deuce? We already pay our national insurance. Increasing the council tax essentially as a subsidy for what they need to pay for the national insurance contribution. It's as if we're having to pay national insurance twice. Are you shocked and miffed off? Because I know I am. This is freaking insane. Now, I'm not encouraging you guys do this, but I'm not surprised that there is a growing number of people online that are turning around and saying that from April, they are withholding their council tax payments. Again, I'm not encouraging you to do that. Consequences, look into it, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. But in a way, I'm not surprised that thousands of people online are turning around and saying we are going to withhold our council tax payments from April. We are sick and tired of this BS. I am not surprised. But yeah, guys, the real reason your council tax is rising, it's essentially a subsidy from what I'm reading for what employers, including councils, need to pay, namely the rise in what they have to contribute to national insurance, not us. A rise that Rachel from accounts initiated in the first place. So these cheeky what's-it buggers are passing this rise on to us through increasing our council tax. I'm shocked and miffed off. I'm that angry I can't even say my words straight at this point. How about you guys? With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more, you do not want to miss my next video that will be released in the next couple of hours. A politician is publicly supporting the council tax strike. Who is it? What are they saying? It's an interesting one, so if you don't want to miss that or any of my future videos, then please make sure you subscribe to join our Alternerd tribe here at Political Nerds. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces, and until the next time, you guys, laters.